Welcome to the Irresistible You podcast. This is the place to get a dose of empowerment to create the life you crave and deserve. I'm your host, Amy Beltran, CEO and founder of Irresistible University. Through my podcast and signature coaching program, I teach women just like you how to ditch the body image issues, gain confidence, and lose the emotional weight to look and feel irresistible at any size. If you like the podcast, you're going to love my group coaching program. If you want to learn more about it, including the investment, what's included, get real client testimonials, and to sign up and enroll, please head over to irresistibleicing.com/course. That link is also in the show notes. All right, guys, welcome back to the podcast this week. Today, we are going to be talking all about creating who you want to become, creating the irresistible you version of yourself. And I would say that ultimately, what it means to become irresistible you is this is what it means. It means to become the best up-leveled version of yourself. It means to step into your power. It means to embrace every part of you, from your size to your weight to your personality to your talents to your skills, and also recognizing the things that you're not good at. And I have found over time, as I've gone through this journey, that has been so impactful for me, is leaning into what I'm really good at versus trying to improve the areas that just really aren't the areas for me. So what do I mean by that? It's like, this is just an example that I'll give you, but like really understanding, I'm an introvert. I may come across extroverted when I'm speaking or on the podcast or in videos when I have to be on. And when I am not in the place of having to be on, I need time alone. I need to recharge. I'm very introverted. And I know at a time where I didn't recognize that I needed that time in between to recharge. That's what I'm trying to get across here, is that we really need to get to know ourselves. We really need to get to understand where we will shine, and then how do we become that version of ourselves that we crave to be. And that is what becoming irresistible you is all about. It's not a one-stop shop. It's not like you get to this place on your journey and then you're done. It's an ever evolving process of learning, of growing, of developing, of getting to know who you are. And, you get to certain points in your life where certain things are important to you and certain things no longer are. And that's okay, because this is a journey. Right? Life is a journey. You are not intended to just tap out at some point where I've learned enough, I've grown enough, I've developed enough. It's like, no, you need to constantly be doing those things. Because if you're not constantly learning and developing, you're stagnant. And that's not a good place to be for anyone. So we just want to talk about, how do you create who you want to be, and the fears and the things that hold you back from becoming who you want to be. I know for me, like, I'm always on a mission to improve myself, to improve areas of my life. And let's be very clear here about wanting to have improvements and enhancing your life versus never feeling satisfied. Because I've definitely been and lived in both of those areas, right? And I think we can live in two different things, as far as like, I can be grateful of where I am today and what has gotten me to where I am today, but I can also be wanting to strive for the next level, for something else, while still being grateful for where I am. It doesn't mean I'm not satisfied. It doesn't mean I'm unhappy. It just means that I know I still have room to grow. I'm not done with this yet. And so I want you to understand that you don't, because here's the thing, guys, and this is why I want to talk about this today. Becoming who you want to be, becoming irresistible you, the things that are going to make it difficult for you, if you allow it, is going to be your own thoughts around it. It's going to be your own rules that you have created somewhere along the way. And I think a lot of times, especially for women, there's something that we have had ingrained in us that, well, you should just be happy where you are. You should just be grateful for what you have. And that if you want anything above and beyond where you are today, it means, well, you're not satisfied. You're not grateful. You just don't appreciate what you have. And I'm here to tell you that that is bullshit, that you can be grateful and happy with what you have, but also want more. You can live in both of those. Absolutely. And I would say you should be living in both of those. We should always want to push ourselves to strive more and not to confuse that with hustle culture, because that's not what I'm talking about either. Okay? You know, sometimes we can get so caught up in our life and being busy and the things that are going on, and we don't take the time to realize how far we have come, because sometimes we only see how far I still have to go. I mean, think about it in weight loss, right? You lose 50 pounds and everybody's telling you, oh my God, girl, you look so good. What you been doing? And you're like, you do the thanks but. I call it the thanks but. You're like, thanks, but, I'm trying. It's like you downplay your accomplishment. It's like, thanks, but, I've got another 20 pounds to lose, and, I'm really trying to work on this loose skin. And you completely downplay your accomplishment. You downplay, and quite frankly, it's insulting to the person who's recognizing what you've done. Because you're basically saying to them, well, no, that's not true. That's not true. I don't look good because I still have 20 pounds to lose. And meanwhile, what's happening there, it's like you're not sitting in the moment of appreciating or patting yourself on the back and celebrating the fact that, girl, you lost 50 pounds. That's huge. And think about all the other things in your life that you've accomplished through hardships, through setbacks. And here you are today. You're living, breathing, listening. You're here on this podcast, which you're here, you're alive. That's amazing. But we don't take the time to think about that. And that's what I'm saying. It's like we can live in both of these spaces. And if you only live in one of those spaces, it can be dangerous to live in one or the other. Meaning, if I just live in the space of always wanting more, I'm not happy, I'm not satisfied, I want to get ahead, and I'm never taking the time to appreciate where I am, to be grateful for where I am, to reflect on where I am, then that is not being in the moment, right? If I am also in the place of I should just be happy where I am, I should just be satisfied, that is you downplaying and not allowing yourself to strive, not allowing yourself room to grow. That is your own lack of self-worth holding you back from what you want to be. And, I look around in my life sometimes, and of course it's like, well, I wish I could do this, and I had this, and, I have to sit here and go, what? Whoa, wait a second. It's that whole meme of some of the things I complain about now are the things I prayed for years ago and I made happen. And the life that I have today, I've created this. It wasn't handed to me. I didn't get lucky. I had intentions about what I wanted my life to look like. And so I took the actions with intention to craft and create the life that I know that I wanted to have for myself. And all of that starts with having a clear vision of who you want to become, setting your goals, and then being intentional as hell with your actions. Because here's what people do. They'll see someone who's lost weight, and the first thing they'll go and say to themselves is oh, that's not fair. I've been trying to lose weight my whole life. I can't ever get it together. I can't get the weight off. That is not fair. Or you see someone with the home or the car or the life or the whatever, fill in the blank that you want. And it's well, someday I'll have it. Someday I'll lose weight. And you someday yourself to death. Because someday is bullshit. It is absolute bullshit to keep telling yourself, well, someday, someday, someday. What does that even mean? You know, it's easy to say someday because it takes the pressure off in that moment. Well, someday I'll lose my weight. Well, someday I'll have the life I want. Well, someday I'll be the woman I really should be. And it gives you permission to like, oh, I can take that pressure off. I don't have to do anything for it. And then I can just complain and be a victim and throw pity parties every single time I see somebody else killing their goals. You can have those things too, but you have to have the vision, set the goals, and be intentional with your actions. Because setting goals is not enough. And so many people are like, well, I set a goal. It's like, okay, well then what did you do to work towards that goal? It's not going to just happen. We're not out here building vision boards and, throwing shit together on Pinterest or a vision board and going, oh, I hope that happens. That's not how it works. You got to have the vision, yes. You have to be able to see it, feel it, think it, just like own it. But then you also have to say, okay, that's where I want to be. Here's where I am. How do I fill the gaps in between? It's just like weight loss, right? You don't say, oh, I need to lose 100 pounds and then just get pissed off and walk away and like, well, this is too hard. It's like what I've been telling you guys on the new series. It's like 10 pounds 10 times. You can lose 10 pounds. Can you do it 10 times? Then you got 100 pounds gone. And then how are you going to lose that 10 pounds? You need to have a plan of how you're attacking it. I am telling you, if you've never heard this from anyone and you don't believe it, I am telling you, you can create whatever kind of life you want for yourself. Period. You just have to be willing to put in the work, put in the effort, put in the time, and really, really, the hard part here, guys, you're going to have to work on your thoughts around it. Because everybody's got a lot of shit wrapped up in, well, that's not for me. I can't ever do that. And I think a lot of times with change, creating who you want to be, stepping into your power, becoming irresistible you, the reason so many people won't ever change, there's a lot of reasons, but I think a big reason here is there is a massive fear of judgment from other people. They have these, and you may not consciously realize this yet, and this is why it's so important as you're going through an irresistible you journey, is to dive into your thought process, to get those things down on paper, to question yourself. Not just accepting everything that goes across your brain, not just accepting every single thing. And so many people have this fear of this judgment that they're going to get left behind. If I make these changes, I'm not going to have anything in common with my husband. I'm not going to have anything in common with my friends or my family or whatever. Think about it, right? This is so with weight loss, it's like, well, oh my God, if I get to my goal and I lose all this weight, I'm not going to have anything in common with my girlfriends that I go and hit the buffets with, right? You have that eating friend that you go out with, and it's like, well, oh my God, if I am trying to work on myself and get my weight down and, learn how to eat differently, you're telling yourself, I'll never be able to go out with them. And these thoughts that you're having are not the truth. There might be some truth to it, but that's why I want you to really question yourself, because that's not 100% true. And here's the thing in this example. If I have friends that only want to connect with me and get together with me when we can go shove our faces at a buffet or whatever, and they're going to stop doing that because I'm now eating less or watching, making different choices or losing weight, well then that's a whole nother conversation of you need to reevaluate who these people are in your life in the first place. And the other side to that example is okay, so if you're losing weight, you can't go out to eat anymore? That's not true. There's no truth to that either. So it's dissecting your belief system, your rules that you've created, because that is what will always hold you back. It's not the strategies, it's not the tips, it's not the how to, it's your beliefs, your rules, your thoughts, and your feelings around what change means. And if you're still struggling to lose weight, if you're still like back and forth on the yo-yo diet, shame cycle of like gaining and losing and gaining and losing, it's not the food. It's not the workouts. That is a small percentage of the problem. It is what you think, feel, and do around the process. A lot of people, and myself included, I was this way in the past of like, well, when I go on a weight loss kick, I got to go into isolation. It's like, no, bitch, you're not going to live your life in isolation. Why are you going in isolation to lose weight? And I can remember like turning down events, turning down parties because I didn't want the temptation of drinking and eating and all the things. And the thing is we have to learn how to have a life and how to be around food no matter what size we are. So that thought process is not correct. It's your rule or your belief that I can't be social when I need to lose weight. Well, then what's going to happen once you get to your goal, right? We have to question these beliefs. We have to push the boundaries. We have to question these rules that we have created for ourselves. Thinking about like someone who wants to stop drinking. It's like, oh no, if I stop drinking, I'm not going to get invited to girls' night. I'm not going to be the fun friend anymore. I'm not going to be the crazy one anymore. So they're going to stop inviting me to go out. In your life, finances, right? If you upgrade your home or you upgrade your car, there's people that will intentionally hold themselves back. Maybe not intentionally. They don't realize they're doing it. Like there's a self-worth component here of like, well, I don't really deserve to drive that car. I don't really deserve to have that kind of house. I don't deserve to have those kinds of clothes. And there's a fear of judgment that, everybody's going to think I'm better than them. The people that know me or that I grew up with or I went to high school with or my family, they're going to think that I think I'm better than them. And that is not true. Okay? If you step into a bigger position where you're making more money, you have more authority, it's like people will say like, oh, well, you're disowning your humble beginnings, because you're no longer relatable. We can't relate to you and your lifestyle and what you're doing. So women especially will hold themselves back from what they want, from the weight loss, from, the job, the career, the item, all the things in their life that they want because they're fearing this judgment from other people. And that is not about other people. It is about you, and it is about the way that you're speaking to yourself and the thoughts that you have around the change. Because it's easy to say, oh yeah, I want to lose weight. Oh yeah, I want to make more money. Oh yeah, I want to like do this and that. But then where's that disconnect? There's something there that is disconnecting. And I can promise you there is some type of belief or rules in there of you telling yourself, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve to lose weight. I don't deserve to do it because if I do it, I'm going to lose out on, friendships or, maybe it's a spouse too. The spouse is also overweight and they're not willing to go on this journey. It's like, well, I don't want to lose the weight because then I'm going to leave him behind. Because I want to live a healthy lifestyle and he's not ready to go down that path. So guys, you have to work on these thoughts because this is what will hold you back. And stop worrying about other people. I don't care if it's your spouse. Stop worrying about what other people are going to think. And we do this a lot. We create these stories that have no evidence. We create stories about what's going to happen or why that's not possible before we even take the time to explore possibilities. And this is what I always tell everybody. You have to explore possibilities. right? So let me give an example of that. So when we had our first home that we bought together, I mean, I probably wasn't happy there from the moment like the first time I went around the neighborhood and walked, I was like, oh my God, why? Why do we live here? And we wanted out, and we ended up staying there for 9 years. And part of the reason it took that long is I had created this story in my brain that it's not the right time to sell. I would no constantly making these stories up about how we're not going to get enough money, we're going to lose money, and then it's going to be too hard. It's going to be too hard to sell a home while trying to buy another one, and then what do we do in between? We're going to have all this money saved up, and I created this whole nonsense story around it. And then I said, let's explore possibilities. Why don't we just get the information from a person who knows what they're doing, from a professional, like a real estate agent? And so we set this meeting up where we just wanted to talk to them like, here's the home, brought them in, had them take a tour, here's what we're trying to do. We just want to get an understanding of the process, what's involved, how much money is it going to take, how much of a gap is there going to be between, selling and buying and da 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 da. And let me tell you guys something. That was just a meeting to get information. I think within a week or two, we were already like going through the process of selling. It was the easiest process. It was easier than when I bought my first home. And our old home was not even on the market for 24 hours. I can't remember how many offers. I mean, I was out of the house like the entire day because there was back to back to back tours. And within 24 hours of putting it on the market, our house sold. Meanwhile, we already had put our offer in on the new house. So there was no gap. There was no massive amount of money that had to be put aside for, it was like, okay, that was an example for me realizing, because I do it too. I still do it. I still create these stories, right? You cannot create stories until you have facts. And we create stories based on emotions. We create stories based on past experiences. We create stories of what we have seen other people go through without having the evidence and the facts of what it could be for us. And so I will tell people, it's like, even when you're not in a position that you can afford something yet, right? It's like, okay, you may not be in the position to be able to afford the new home or the new car or the, whatever yet, but I want you to explore the possibilities. I want you to find out the information. How much is it going to cost? What kind of down payment do you need? What do you need to pay off in order for, credit to clear and get a better credit score? Like, you have to get the facts and the evidence first. And how much time are you wasting telling yourself, well, someday I'll get to that, but I'm not ready for it right now. Someday I'll learn how to eat better. Someday I'll learn how to dress better. Someday I'll learn how to lose weight. Someday I'll learn how to have a better job. Someday. And you someday yourself to death. And I am here to shake you and tell you that someday does not exist. And especially for my younger people that listen to this, I promise you, time does not, it's not like it actually gets faster, but the older you get, it feels like it flies by in a blink. And it will continue to fly by. And if you are not taking advantage of the time that you have, getting intentional and making plans and stop saying someday, I promise you, all of a sudden, you're going to be old and you're going to look back and you're going to go, how the hell did I get here? How the hell did I become this? It's very easy to see other people and go, ugh, 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 she's so lucky, ugh. And if that is your attitude towards seeing other people and their success, you got a lot of work to do. Because what that tells me is that you are not putting in the time and you are not using your actions and your time intentionally to create a plan for what you want. And at the same time, while you're doing that, also recognizing how far you've come. Not just where you have to go, right? And then I think there's also a fear A massive fear of success. Everybody wants to just say, oh, no, 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 I'm afraid to fail. I'm so afraid of failure. No, you're not. Y'all know I keep it real on this show. And, especially we're talking about weight loss. All said with love, but like, if you had a fear, it's not a fear of failure because quite frankly, you know how to fail. If you've been on the yo-yo diet, body hate, shame cycle for a very long time, for the majority of your life, girl, you already know how to fail. You're good at that. We're all good at failing. We know how to fail. And there's nothing wrong with failing. What are you doing with it? What are you doing to learn from that failure? What people truly fear is a fear of success. Because there's a level of responsibility that comes with your success. And there's a fear of maintaining this new level of success that you've never achieved before. If you've never gotten to your goal weight, I guarantee you there's some belief and fear of that success of, oh my God, how do I maintain this? And not living in a world where you're constantly afraid that the weight's going to just come back on. And newsflash, the weight doesn't just come back on. It doesn't come to your front door and knock and say, hey, I'm here, bitch. No, it comes back on from things that you choose to do. And the sooner we can take ownership of our own bullshit, of our own actions, the easier things get. Because success comes with responsibility. It comes with maintaining that level of success. And I think there's a belief coming from diet culture of like, well, if I just get to my goal weight, I'm free sailing. I can just, I'm done. It's like, no, now you've gotten here. We need to maintain this level. And so that's the thing is like, if you didn't do weight loss in a way that you really enjoy living your life, of course you can't maintain it. You can't deprive yourself of grapes and bananas saying, oh my God, sugar, it's fruit, guys. And then get to your goal and be like, oh, I can eat fruit again. Like, seriously, like, I'm going to get on a tangent if I don't stop. Success comes with massive responsibility. So most people will just accept mediocre. Most people will just accept to sit in their own misery. They will sit in their own misery because it's all they've ever known. This is all and it's that, well, no one in my family's ever done it. I've never seen anybody I know, come up to this level, or I've never seen anybody I know lose their weight, and victim, 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 victim. Pity party, pity party. So they sit in their own misery because even though it's miserable, it's comfortable. It's familiar. Yes, change is hard. Change can be painful. But you need to be ready to rip that wet blanket off and be uncomfortable for a while. Y'all know my wet blanket analogy. If you're new here, you can message me. We'll talk about it. I'm not going to get into it right now. But yeah, you have to rip that wet blanket off and you have to feel the cold on your skin. Because eventually it's going to go away and it's going to become a new level of comfort that you've never experienced before. And now it's comfortable and familiar because you've done the new thing. Right? And so you have to create a lifestyle. You have to create a life that you love all the way down the scale. So that when you get to goal weight, it's not like this like massive, oh my God, I got to goal weight, boom, throw everything out the window. It should just feel like, okay, cool, I got to goal weight. Like have a party, have a celebration, but like the way you're doing things shouldn't feel any different, if that makes sense. Like I want you to celebrate, I want you to go out, I want you to get dressed up, I want you to go celebrate that shit. But your actions should not be massively changing. Because what got you there is you need to be able to maintain there, right? I hope that makes sense to you guys. So there's a resistance between who you are today and who you want to become. And I am telling you, when you go on this Irresistible You journey, You are going to feel that deep resistance. You are going to feel that pull to want to come back to who you are right now. You are going to feel that resistance like, oh no, it's like, who do you think you are? You're going to hear that inner fat bitch. You're going to hear it so loud. Who do you think you are? You're not one of those people. You're not like that. You're not one of those. That kind of life isn't for you. And you will have to intentionally and constantly redirect and change your thoughts. And let me tell you, that inner fat bitch, she is going to tell you and try to make you believe that you are worthless, that you don't deserve it, and that you just are who you are, honey. You just are who you are. This is who you are. This is how you were born. And there's nothing you can change to do about it. You are going to hear years of things that you have been telling yourself and that have been said to you. You're going to hear that stuff every single time you're wanting to change. And that resistance is normal. You should feel that resistance. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do with it? How are you going to change it? And you're going to feel like, I don't deserve to lose the weight. I don't deserve to become who I want to be. And let me be clear here. Becoming irresistible you is not just weight. It's all the things in your life that you're holding yourself back from. Weight is the convenient excuse. Well, I'm too fat. I'm too fat to own that. I'm too fat to wear that. I'm too fat to do that. I'm too fat to right? It's the easy excuse. Becoming irresistible you means becoming who you're supposed to be. Becoming the best version of yourself. You know, I had this last year when we went to Walt Disney World. And that was on my bucket list. One of the things, I wanted to go to Walt Disney World. I wanted to take my children. I wanted to go during Halloween, during their birthdays. And I had told myself, but when I do it, I don't want to go and deprive myself of things. So my vision for this trip was like, when I go, I want to go all out. I want to buy them the $20 balloons. I want to do the dinner in Cinderella's castle and the Beast castle. Like, we did it all, girl, okay? And I will never in my life regret a dollar that I spend on a vacation, ever. Ever, 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 ever. Because those memories, that is what life is all about for me. And travel is one of my passions. And being able to take my children to do things like that, it means everything to me, you know? And when I went to make the payment, when we paid for our trip, booked everything and booked the package and whatnot, I remember just sitting at the computer with my card and going, no, this is ridiculous. Why are you spending this much money? You could be putting this towards X, Y, and Z. Who do you think you are? This is ridiculous. And I almost was like, that inner fat bitch was like talking me out of it. Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are to spend this kind of money? Like, just all kinds of stuff. I mean, it was like a lot of shit coming up, right? Just for a vacation. And that's why I'm here to tell you guys, like, you're going to feel resistance to change. You're going to feel and hear the inner fat bitch. You're going to hear those thoughts. And it is up to you to recognize them, and it is up to you to change it. You are breaking cycles. This is not just up-leveling and, whatever. You are breaking cycles. You are breaking through generational trauma. It's not easy, but it's worth it. And it is so important. You only have one life to live. So you're either going to live it in your wet blanket of misery with all the voices telling you how shitty you are, how you'll never be able to do this, how you'll never be able to have that. Or you're going to up level and you're going to create who you want to become. And you're going to work through that stuff, And I was like, no, I damn well deserve this vacation. Like, I work my ass off. I've been working since I was 15 years old. And for the past, I've had my business for over 10 years, but I have been working completely for myself for the past 4. That's a fucking accomplishment. So you're damn right I'm going to be proud of myself. If no one else tells me that, I'm going to tell myself that. And that's the other thing, guys. Stop waiting for other people to be proud of you. Stop waiting for other people to acknowledge your success. Stop waiting for people to notice your weight loss. You notice it. You clap for yourself. I'll clap for you all day long. You deserve to get what you are wanting. Like, you deserve it. Stop telling yourself you don't deserve things. Because as long as you tell yourself that, that's exactly what you're going to believe, and that's exactly how things are going to show up in your life. You know, I recently experienced this a little bit with my new car. So for those of you that follow me on Instagram, you probably, if you follow my stories, you probably saw that I had bought a new car. One of my goals in 2022 was to buy myself a new car. I've been driving the same truck since 2012, so 10 years, guys. I haven't even been driving that truck for the past like over a year because it has like issues. The air conditioner doesn't work. It cuts off, like the air conditioner will come on, then it turns off. And it's just been one problem after another. So my husband started driving my car so that we had a safe, reliable vehicle for me and the kids. And I was driving his pickup truck. Okay? I'm not a pickup truck kind of girl, y'all. Like, I'm just not. Like, I love it. It's big, it's spacious, but it's not me. I wanted my car back. I wanted a new car. I needed something new. And, you know, I feel like every car I've ever owned, there's always a problem. You know, I've never bought a car brand new, like right off the lot. Never done that in my life. And I, again, had told myself, no, this isn't the right time. You've still got to pay some things down, get your score up a little bit more. And then I said, F it, like, let's just go pre-qualify. And I put the pre-qual in the application, and I asked for a certain amount of money. And let me tell y'all, you have to stop telling yourself these stories. They came back and said, yes, you qualify for this. Would you like this amount? Would you like this much more? We actually think you approve for this. And they approved me for more than I asked for. Okay. And I cried. I literally cried when I was reading the screen because I had created a story that it wasn't going to be a good time. I'm not going to get approved for this, and that, and the other. And that wasn't true. And sometimes we don't know until we try, right? And I did not get a brand new car, but it's brand new to me, and it smells new, and it looks new. And oh my God, I ended up getting, let me just explain. I've always driven an SUV. I was raised driving SUVs. That's how I learned how to, I grew up, like, the way I learned how to drive was in a big ass Chevy Blazer on the beach. That's how I learned how to drive. And I've always had SUVs. I had an Explorer, and my last car was a Mountaineer, which basically is an Explorer. It's the exact same body. But it was a 2006. I've had a 2006 truck, and it's now 2022. Okay. Just to give you that line of reference. Okay. And it had a lot of problems. It's had a lot of problems the last couple years. And I had to talk to myself, and I had to change some thought processes as I was going through the process of buying a car. And I thought I was going to end up getting another Explorer because that's what I love. I love the size. I love the body. I just love it. I love that class of SUV. My ultimate dream car is a Cadillac Escalade. That is not in my price point right now. And I don't just say someday. There's a plan, guys. Like, that will be my car. That will be my next car. That will be my next car. It's just not in the cards for me right now. And that's what I tell myself. It's not in the cards for you right now, but it will be. And there's years ago I could say that. I couldn't even say that. I could just say, oh yeah, whatever, someday, because it felt so unobtainable. So anyway, I ended up getting, and it's crazy to me. I ended up getting a 2020 2020 with 20,000 miles. So it's basically brand new. And it's immaculate condition. Like it feels new, it smells new, it looks new, and it's a BMW. I can't even say that with a straight face. I got a BMW X3, which is a small SUV. Now that was the thing, guys. It's a lot smaller than I'm used to. I'm not used to a small SUV. It's lower to the ground. It doesn't have a third row, and I'm kind of struggling with that a little bit, and that'll be a story for another day that we'll talk about. But anyway, my point in this story was to say, I went from telling myself, you're not going to get qualified, you're not going to get enough money, they're not even going to qualify you, this is going to, like, I just created such bullshit stories. And that's the vehicle that is now sitting in my driveway. And I absolutely love it. And when it came around the corner, when they brought it out to me, I get emotional. I started crying. I've never driven something so nice. I've never had a luxury car. And me talking about it and me showing it on social media is not a flex. It's not me bragging. It's me being fucking proud of myself. It's me knowing that I did this. I got me here. I told myself that I wanted to have a nice vehicle. I told myself I want to be the type of person who drives a luxury truck. I want to be the type of person that can afford that. And you guys don't even know the shit I've been through the last 4 to 5 years to get here. Like business-wise, financial, you don't even know. Not to mention the personal shit that's happened, right? So when I talk about this, it's because I'm proud of myself. It's because I want to show other people that doubt themselves what is possible for them. I am not someone who grew up in a family that drove BMWs. I am not someone who grew up in a family that drove luxury cars, period. Okay? This is like a new level for me. And I deserve to be here. I do. I've worked hard. And, you know, the whole way home, driving home that night, I was like, had the music up, had the windows down, and I just cried. Like, tears of joy. I have an air conditioner that works. It doesn't cut off, you know, my car's not cutting off when I turn in an intersection and like almost killing us. Like, seriously, like it's everything. It's everything. And I'm not saying material things are everything in life because we all know they're not, but we all have to have certain things. And that was a big moment for me. So I love it, and I'm so happy, and I'm so proud, and I want you guys to understand that when you make massive changes and you do things that have never been done before in your past, in your family history, or your walk of life, or whatever, you're going to come up against this resistance. You're going to feel it, you're going to have the inner fat bitch, and it is up to you to create who you want to be and bust through those rules, bust through those thoughts. And it all starts with having a detailed vision. Who do you want to be? Not like, well, I want to weigh this amount. Like, girl, come, please. That is so surface level. That is so, like, ridiculous. Like, I want to be a type of woman who wears these types of clothes and looks this way and does this for herself and drives this type of car and has this type of job. And when I wake up, I want to fill in the dots. Like, you have to get so detailed with that vision for yourself. You know, I think there's a lot of things because of weight, we hold ourselves back. We tell ourselves we don't deserve it, or we don't want to call attention to ourselves because if we do certain things and we think, oh my God, if we do that, then people are going to notice me. Right? Things as simple as going to get your hair done. It's like, well, I don't want to do that because I want to lose weight because they're going to see me and I'm going to be overweight and they're going to think, well, gosh, you care about your hair. How come you can't care about your body? These are the thoughts that happen. I know I'm not the only person that's gone through that. Right? So we have to have those visions of who you want to become. Something else that's been on my vision plan for a while, and I have no idea why it's taken me this long, because now that I did it, I'm like, holy shit, this is everything. I have wanted to do my brows for years, to get my eyebrows microbladed. I wanted to be able to wake up in the morning, have beautiful eyebrows, be able to wash my face and still see my eyebrows, get out of the pool, sweat, the beach, and still have these beautiful eyebrows because I do not have those naturally. And not have to fill them in and then I don't want to be rubbing eyebrows off and shit at the pool. And I don't know why this took me so long. And I just had my eyebrows bladed last week. And let me tell you, it was everything, And so those things that we want to do for ourselves, that we know we need, that we deserve, that we want, how are you holding yourself back from those things? How are you holding yourself back? How are you self-sabotaging your plans? When you're self-sabotaging your weight, it's not because, I love food. No, it's like there's some belief under there of like why you should be self-sabotaging. Because you don't deserve, because, oh my God, if you lose the weight, you're going to change. Oh my God, if you lose the weight, you're going to be like, who does she think she is? Yes. You think it. And as you go through this vision and you create these plans, let me tell you, you're going to have bumps in the road. You're going to have things that throw you for a loop. Y'all know that have been rocking with me. Last year threw me off hardcore. That was the biggest bump in the road I've ever experienced. And I'm still learning. I'm still learning about that. Right? So, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. I can't believe I've been talking this long, guys. Oh, my goodness. All right, y'all. Create who you want to be. Come up with a damn plan. Get intentional. Get intentional. What does that mean? You are not a robot where things are just happening to you. You have the ability to question. You have the ability to change. You have the ability to redirect. Choice, 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 choice. We don't have a choice of the circumstances. We have a choice about how we show up. I didn't have a choice that my 4-year-old little girl became type 1 diabetic last year, right? I didn't have a choice. I didn't see that shit coming. But I had a choice in how we dealt with it. I had a choice on how we speak about it. And I have a choice on how I show up for her so that she doesn't become victim mentality about this. That she just rocks that shit. Okay, we have a choice. I'm going to leave it on that note. I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. If this episode resonates, please head over to iTunes or your podcast player of choice and leave a rating and review. It means everything to me. It lets me know that you're out there, you're listening. It's giving me feedback about, okay, let me keep going with this podcast. They like this type of content. Let me know. Let me know what's going on. You can also message me on Instagram at Irresistible Icing, or you can catch up with us in the free Facebook group, which is called the Irresistible You Podcast group on Facebook. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. It will all be okay. We're all going to get there. We're all going at our own pace. We're all where we need to be right here in this moment. This is your journey. Okay? Until next time, guys, stay irresistible. Bye!